Over the past year, doctors and nurses were hit particularly hard by coronavirus as they dealt with a new virus they didn't know a lot about.
But the healthcare industry has come a long way. TV5's Trevor Sahaki spoke with Covenant Healthcare about the strides they've made since last March. He joins us live in Saginaw with that. Trevor?
Megan, David, that's right. The pandemic has challenged Covenant Hospital here in Saginaw in more ways than they can count. But even at the height of the pandemic, when Covenant had the most COVID hospitalizations in the state, hope still wasn't lost.
Many of us come out of a room crying, trying to keep it together for that person. And then we walk out of the room, and let it all out at that point because you really can't. You have to be strong for these people.
When Faith Snyder, a nurse at Covenant Hospital in Saginaw, joined the ICU team in October 2019, there was no way she could have seen what was coming.
The hospital as a whole had to adapt to this we became this epicenter for COVID. We were the hospital that everybody was going to. So you saw a lot of changes in how the whole place was being run.
Changes Dr. Matthew Dybel had to oversee.
Those first few months, I would come in early in the morning, and I would stay till late, go home and eat a late dinner, and then go back to emails. And I would only get a few hours of sleep each night.
Lack of sleep wasn't the only strain on healthcare workers.
You would go outside in your scrubs and everybody just didn't want anything to do with you. They're like, oh, you work in healthcare, you must work with COVID patients, please stay away from me, we don't know what's going on. So that was really isolating in the beginning, not knowing.
But that was a year ago. Today, Snyder and Dybel say people thank them on the streets. And even during the worst surges, staff stayed strong.
The suggestion came that we should play Here Comes the Sun. Each time something good happened to one of our patients with COVID. And every time that song played, you could see people smile, people clapped. You would think it would get old, but I tell you, months later, people are still, they still feel the joy each time.
Of course, Covenant still has COVID patients inside, but now they also have a second song to celebrate different COVID wins. As always, it's a chance to celebrate with the Covenant family. Live in Saginaw, Trevor Sahaki, WNEM, TV5.